How are they so clueless? There's so many difficult questions that emerge from the Parshas of Yosef and his brothers and their interactions and how exactly everything came to be. Why he didn't call his father, why, all these details. But there's one question that bothered me for a very long time. How is it possible that Yosef's brothers had no clue that this was Yosef? And let me explain. I don't mean, how could they not have been positive? But how is it possible that they didn't at least suspect that maybe, just maybe, this person they're interacting with is in fact Yosef? And if you look at the events, especially through the prism of Chazal, the question becomes even clearer. The fact that he wasn't recognizable, Chazal tell us, is because when he left, he didn't have a beard, and now he had a beard. He had matured. Let's accept that. But there were so many other reasons that they should have at least suspected that maybe this person is Yosef. Why does the Torah say that Yosef's brothers were going down to Mitzrayim? Why not say Yaakov's sons? So it explains Rashi that they went down with the purpose of trying to find Yosef. That was their goal. Seems like they knew that he was in Egypt. They knew that's where he ended up, and they needed to figure out, how do we find him? Where should we start searching? They're accused of being spies, from their perspective, for no good reason. Then shortly thereafter, he says, I fear God. What a strange and random statement to come from Egyptians who worship the Nile. Nothing. He lets 9 out of the 10 spies leave because he's worried about the health of their father? Why would he want these spies floating around if they really are in fact spies? Shimon's left in jail, he's taken out, he's treated like royalty. He didn't suspect anything. All the brothers are treated to a lavish royal meal. Out of everybody in Egypt, everybody that's showing up, they didn't suspect anything. Rashi relates from the Medrash how Yosef looked into his goblet and told him events from the past that he saw in the goblet. Shimon and Levi destroying Shechem. And suddenly, from the date Yosef sailed, there's nothing that he could report. Strange, no? How come they didn't suspect anything? And it's not as if they've forgotten about the sale when they're sitting in jail. After 3 days, they're thinking, oh, maybe this is why we're being punished. There were so many signs that perhaps, maybe, things are just off. Maybe this is Yosef. Maybe it could be. And it's pretty clear that they weren't just playing along. Not only is there no hint to it in the Psukim, but according to Chazal, at the beginning of next week's Parsha, Vayigash, I love Yehuda, Yehuda is ready to destroy and turn upside down all of Mitzrayim over Binyamin. How could they have been so clueless? So I once thought that maybe Hashem had blinded them. The dreams had to come through in a certain way, had to come true, and maybe this is just the Ratzon Hashem. But it's not particularly satisfying. I was very excited to see a suggestion from Rav Nevin Sal Shlita. And he suggests that the Shvatim were in fact blinded. But it wasn't God who blinded them, they blinded themselves. You see, they were so confident in their lowly assessment of Yosef that he would never amount to anything, that he was just this dreamer, that it could never even dawn on them that he had actually risen to be a Mishnah Lamelech, that he was the assistant to the king. And as many hints or as many signals as there might be, if there is any other way to interpret it, that is how they are going to interpret it. Yes, they knew it was likely that Yosef was in Mitzrayim, and they came down ready to redeem him. But their jealousy was so strong, their anti-Yosef feelings were so strong, that they couldn't have such a Havamina. Where were they searching? In the most disgusting places, the red light district of Mitzrayim. This is what they thought of Yosef. How did they explain all the obvious signs? Is in fact in any other way. And it's a very powerful idea because sometimes in life, we have a tendency to form views of people, whether people, organizations, and everything that happens, we then view through that perspective, and we can't see it in any other way. And that's extraordinarily dangerous. Because people are multifaceted and events are multifaceted. And we need to open up our hearts and our minds and not blind ourselves to the realities of what can take place in life. That perhaps is the takeaway. That we need to be able to see people with fresh eyes from a fresh perspective. Not to put them into a box, this is how things need to be. To be able to accept people for who they are. Be able to appreciate the greatness that people bring. Not assume that people are a certain way. Not to make the mistake that the brothers made. And that hopefully the chait of sinas chinam that began with the brothers of Yosef, that we will be part of fixing that. We'll be part of making sure that things have improved and bring about a geula b'mheira v'yameinu. Amen.